So you just got a letter from the state, or maybe your lawyer, and now you're Googling SR22 insurance, and you're sitting there wondering, what in the hell is this stuff? Unfortunately, you're about to enter a world that nobody explains well. And the reason? Most of the people writing about it have never actually filed one, but we have thousands of them. So what do you say we save you a lot of time and money and explain what an SR22 is, as well as the two most common mistakes people make? First things first, SR22 isn't insurance at all. I know that sounds ridiculous because everyone calls it SR22 insurance. I mean, that's what you're searching for right now, but it's not a policy. It's a form. It's a certificate. It's a piece of paper your insurance company sends to the state that says, yes, this person has the coverage they're required to carry. That's all it is. Now, it is true that you still need a regular auto insurance policy underneath it, but the SR22 itself, it's just proof that you have one. So when someone says, I need SR22 insurance, what they really mean is, I need an insurance policy that comes with an SR22 filing attached to it. And most insurance companies won't even do that for you, which is exactly where the headache starts. So let's talk about who gets stuck with an SR22. And there are a few different scenarios. You got caught driving without insurance. You racked up too many violations. Your license got suspended and you're trying to get it reinstated. Or, and this is the big one, you got a DUI. Now, to confuse you even more, that's unless you live in Florida or Virginia. Because if you live in Florida, the rules are different. And I don't mean a little different, I mean completely different. Most states use the SR22 for everything. DUI, no insurance, suspended license, it all gets the same form. But Florida created its own special filing for DUI convictions called the FR44. So the SR22 in Florida is only for non-alcohol stuff, like driving without insurance, too many points, things like that. And why does it matter? Because the FR44 requires way higher coverage limits. We're talking 100, 350, meaning 100,000 per person, 300,000 per accident for bodily injury, and 50,000 for property damage. And for comparison, an SR22 in Florida is only 10, 20, 10. So if you're in Florida and you get a DUI, you don't need an SR22, you need an FR44. But let's move on to the part that's making you sweat. How much is this thing going to cost me? And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Your insurance is going up, but as we've already discussed, the expensive part is the insurance policy that sits underneath it. Because now you're labeled a high-risk driver, and insurance companies love to make high-risk drivers pay. Why? Because they can. And premiums for those policies have a wide range when it comes to pricing. And it depends on the state you live in, the violations you have on your driving record, and which company you go with. Because the difference between the cheapest carrier and the most expensive one, for the exact same coverage, the exact same driver, the exact same violation, can be 50% or more. That's hundreds of dollars a month just by choosing one company over another. But let's move on to how long you need to keep this thing for. In most states, 3 years. Some states, it's 5. In a few rare cases, it's less. Which brings us to the absolutely biggest mistake you can make when it comes to SR22s. If you let your policy lapse, even for a day, because your insurance company is required to notify the state. And when they do, your license gets suspended again. And in most cases, the clock starts over. As in, you go back to day 1, you have to carry it for 3 more years, and that's from the date you got it reinstated. That's 3 more years because of one missed payment. So whatever you do, don't let it lapse. And now for the second biggest mistake people make. They call their current insurance company, Geico, State Farm, Progressive, whoever they're currently insured with. And they say, hey, I need an SR22. And while that sounds perfectly logical, here's what happens next. Your carrier looks at your record, sees the violation, and does one of two things. They either drop you completely, or they jack your price through the roof. Because standard carriers, they don't want high-risk drivers. You're not their customer anymore. You're their liability. And they purposely give you mafia rates so you'll go somewhere else. Of course, that's assuming they're not putting your cancellation letter in the mail as you're watching this video. There's one more thing I want to cover, because we get this question constantly. What if I don't own a car? Finally, there's good news. You can still get an SR22 with what's called a non-owner policy, and it covers you when you're driving someone else's vehicle, and it still satisfies the state's requirements, and it's significantly cheaper than a standard policy because there's no vehicle attached. So if you don't own a vehicle right now, a non-owner SR22 is the answer. Most people don't even know this option exists, but if you qualify, it'll save you a fortune. So in the end, I know this is a lot, and I know you're probably dealing with court dates, fines, suspended licenses, and all the stress that comes with it. But if you want someone to help you out with all of this, or if you're in Florida and you want to know, do I need an SR22 or an FR44? Just give us a call at 855-678-6977. Or visit us online at sr22coverage.com. We'll tell you exactly what you need, shop up to 15 carriers, and get you the lowest rate with the best coverage, no games, no pressure, and we do it for free. See, the fee for shopping is already built into the price of the insurance policy. So whether you call 15 different companies or just us and let us do all the work, it costs you exactly the same amount. So let us help, because making a mistake is human, but overpaying for it every month for 3 years, that's a choice. Just give us a call.